welcome to our webinar. This webinar is organized by FluentPro Software, and today we'll talk about the modern PMO and unified portfolio management approach, and we'll discuss how to connect Microsoft Project Online and Atlassian JIRA. Very quickly about myself. My name is Anton Kravtsov. I'm CEO of the FluentPro Software Corporation. Our company is developer of tools for Microsoft Project or Microsoft Project Online platform, and integration is one of the products that we have, and we'll talk today about how integration works and how you can connect your Jira with Microsoft Project Online. So really, why we talk about integration, and in context of PPM, you need to have more than just a platform for your project management or portfolio management. It's really the multi-dimensional solutions that you need to deploy, and it has multiple components. You have a configuration, you have your approach for and procedures and processes for portfolio management, project management. You need to have a solution for reporting. You need to have a solution for configuration change management, configuration lifecycle, data migration, disaster recovery, integration with third-party system, because no project management systems are integrated. Teams, small and big, use multiple tools. That's the reality of the modern organizations. You need to have a trace of all the users doing the system. You need to have support organization. And as you can see, the integration with other system is just one of the components of entire solution. At FluentPro, we try to address needs of all organization, needs of PMOs, needs of organization in general, and approach to the PPM by offering different solutions that can advance and enhance your general PPM and address some of the pain points that organization have. And today we'll just talk about integration. Let's assume that your team, one of your teams, so let's say software development team, organization, or IT is using Atlassian JIRA, and you manage your projects there. You have 50 projects, 100 projects, 5 projects. In another project, your team works in JIRA. They track issues, they create user stories, they create epics, they work on bugs, work on tasks. Why organization need to connect those systems? First of all, the biggest problem for business is that you need to have one place where management can see all the information. The point that if you use multiple systems, for example, you use Jira, you use Planner, you use Raleigh, you use Project Online, it means that everywhere you might have projects. And those projects, when they mention different systems, they don't talk to each other. First task that you need to solve is a portfolio visibility. It means that management, PMO, your executive team, they need to have one place where they can see all the project together. Other scenarios is you cannot, and it's really like it's not appropriate right now to force your teams to use specific toolset. We have this integration. You remove that obstacle from your team. You can say, okay, use the best team that fits the team needs. It can be Jira, it can be ServiceNow, it can be Raleigh, it can be Project Online, any tool. Use it for your maximum performance, for maximum efficiency. But we will get the information into Project Online for reporting, for analysis, and for decision making. Same time, teams want to focus on their work. They don't want to do the double entry of time, double entry of progress. They don't want to copy tasks from one system to another manually for just reporting, or build PPMs, build PowerPoints for weekly reporting meeting. I would say that that's a thing of the past. Business need one place where they can see everything that's happening in organization, one portfolio view or view across with multiple portfolios, but they need that one place where they can see all the projects. Same time, when systems connected, if you connect those systems, you can have close to real-time updates of work progress. You don't need to ask your project managers and saying, okay, what's the progress? What we did for this week? Why the project plan is not updated. If systems connected, if your development team went to Jira and work on the tasks, work on the completed some activities, all that will be automatically reflected in Microsoft Project Online. And as I mentioned, by automation of that connectivity and integrating those systems, we really can avoid manual double entry. Report the progress in the tools that you use daily for your work, and that progress will be synchronized to your portfolio management system, in this case Microsoft Project Online, where your project will be updated and the progress will be reported. Another point with having all that information, again, it's all about the consolidation or aggregation of that information and one portfolio view for everyone. It's ease of reporting. You don't need to run specific reporting package for Jira. You don't need to run specific reporting for your planner. You don't need to run your specific reporting for, let's say, for ServiceNow and separately for Project Line, and then somehow figure out how to get all the data together. If you have all the projects in one place, it means that you can use a simple and single reporting solution for reporting across against the data. Like you will have your management at any point of time, they can run Power BI reports, and you can use Power BI from Microsoft, which is free content pack. We have a Power BI pack with over 35 reports from FluentPro for Project Online. It means that as soon as that you have that one place where all that information gets to, you can use that for reporting. Another aspect of modern projects and PPM maturity of organization is able to not just work on schedules, but as well track of as you know, we have time, we have people, we have cost of the project, and we have a scope of the project. And many organizations, they don't track financials, so they track financials for financial aspect of project, for example, budget of project in Excel. By having that, you can have your cost structure for your projects in Project Online. You can have budgets for your projects that are being executed in Jira, and you don't need to use third-party solutions for budgeting in Jira, because what do you do with that data? By consolidating, by connecting the system and having one place where you do all the PPM and project management aspects, like scoping, like budgeting, like tracking the progress, when all that information, actual progress, comes from Jira, you have one place, exactly one place for executive to find information, to reach information, run reports, and make decisions based on the information, not just guesses. And you don't have you no longer make your executive wait for information when project managers prepare that information. So why and what is the integration hub? So the Integration Hub, it's one of our software products from FluentPro. It's a cloud-based platform. It's Microsoft Azure-based platform. We have an option for dedicated deployment for large customers and several specific scenarios. But by default, if you go, it's just an app for your project online, or you can sign up without even installing the app. It's a cloud-based solution hosted in Microsoft Azure. We designed it for very specific need. It's not a universal integration platform, like for example the Zapier, where you can say, okay, if someone updated the document, send email notification. Or some solutions like MuleSoft, where you can do the very advanced scenarios for connecting your ERP system with financial, with project management, with task management, where you need to spend amazing amount of time for connecting and building all those workflows. We focus on very specific aspect. It's a PPM. it's a project management space, and saying, okay, everything is project. People work in different systems. That's a reality of modern organization, and we need to find a good way, and we need to build a platform that will allow, by focusing just on the PPM project aspect. That means that we have project, we have tasks, we have resources. We need to connect those systems so organization can benefit from one view, one portfolio view for all their project, and avoid those aspects that we discussed, like double entry, implement better portfolio visibility, and increase the speed of making decisions. So what we did is we built a platform which is focused on connecting modern and most popular agile project management system with Project Online, and we have support some finance applications. So by default, it's really the focus on the PPM and all the project management. We have some rules for data transformation, and we have the agility, that configuration, that those data that coming from the system, if you have custom attributes, you can do some of those data transformation. We support the mapping. You can adjust the mapping, how the data maps between the system, and you don't need to write a single line of code for that. Platform supports multiple connectors. So this webinar is just one of the series that we have. We have connector for VSTS, we have connector for ServiceNow, we have connector for Salesforce, we have connector for Dynamics 365 PSA. We have connectors for even the generic connector where you can connect to pretty much any web service. We have connector for Office 365 groups, and we have connector for SharePoint, where you can edit your project. For example, you can create a bulk edit scenario for your projects where you do the bulk edit of project in SharePoint list, and it will be automatically updated in Project Online. So we have multiple connectors, and they allow us to an organization, if you use more than just one system, you can still kind of like bring all the data into Project Online for portfolio transparency and one universal view. So capabilities, we have scenarios. And scenario is simply it's integration, it's a connectivity between two connector or two systems that define some specific rules how that integration happens. On the back end, we have some script where this can be modified and some additional filtering rules can be applied. So system supports extensibility. We try to hide that for very complex scenarios, so by default you don't see it, but there is a scripting that you can, if needed, you can access it. Our integration, they don't run all the time. It's not like constant monitoring, because all the constant monitoring is creating additional load in the system. We run on schedule, so it's simply you define, okay, run this job every 5 minutes, or you can have it manual, or you can say run every hour or run every day. You can define that schedule for your synchronization. System will identify everything that changed from last time until execution time, and will do all its work and magic. We support ability to make calls for to integration to run them remotely. So in some cases, if you have third-party solution or your in-house solution that does some transformation, you need to run the data after that. We provide that API. We have a full data isolation, so you kind of like running in the separate processing node, so your data is not shared with any of the other instances. It's really isolated, and I would say fits fast. And since it's integration and it's very critical to understand if something went wrong, we have very advanced logging capabilities where you can see all the details. And I will show that in my demo. If you talk about the specific integration with JIRA, so there are really kind of like three scenarios possible with multiple small details that can be discussed. But really, like first one is that project line system of record means that projects initiated in Project Online, tasks detailed and then pushed to JIRA, and in JIRA your team reports the progress and updates flow back. Second system can be that if Project Online is really used as reporting or aggregation tool, and lots of your projects start in other system. Another scenario is that information will be just simply pushed to Project Online for aggregation for portfolio visibility. So that's the second scenario. And third scenario that we support is that we have a bidirectional synchronization. It means that you have projects that are managed in both systems, and new tasks can be created both in Project Online and in JIRA, and they will be synchronized in both ways. And in addition, to understand the scenarios, and I will show that as well, we have ability to indicate what needs to be synchronized. So let's go to very quickly to demo. We won't spend too much time there, but I will show main capabilities. So if I switch to my JIRA environment, that's my JIRA tenant, and I have project called the PPMX 2018 web development. And same, I have here my project in Project Online, and let's say that I have some tasks that are related to that will be managed and tracked in Project Online. And there are some tasks that section for website development will be tracked in JIRA. I can define which elements from my schedule needs to be pushed to JIRA. And I say, okay, that's a task, and I can define what type. Is it epic? Is it story? Is it bulk? Is it task? And that will be pushed. To project to JIRA. And if I want to synchronize that to JIRA, so I have full control. As you can see, I might have 1,000 tasks in the project, and only a small section will be pushed to JIRA for synchronization. If I go to JIRA and I click on all my issues, I can see all those items synchronized here. I have my estimated work, I have my remaining work, I have everything if it's logged or not logged. And the Integration Hub, it shows there's an app for JIRA for Integration Hub, and it will show all the history, all the history of integration, what's happened. Okay, there is no assignee. That's for time tracking. We identified some initial original estimates that was pushed here. That's a due date for the task. That's original estimate. That's remaining estimate. So you see all the transactions that are happening with that task, they will be reflected in app, and this application will connect to Integration Hub, will get that information from log file, and will show it here. So as a user, you can see, okay, where did that 38 hours came from? And yes, they came through the Integration Hub, and they came on that time. That's a date when that information came to JIRA. And when your user simply just go here and report some progress that's spent, it will be reflected back to synchronized back to Project Online, and the schedule will be updated. So in Integration Hub, you can access it as just application. Typical configuration of Integration Hub is happening in two ways. So first of all, you install app to your Project Online environment. Then you install app to JIRA, and then you can connect those systems together. So it looks like one system. If you're talking about the Integration Hub, it's a web-based application, just regular website. And here I will go, since I have it's working for tenant. So as you can see, I can see here multiple connectors. I have connector to Pro Planner, I have connector to SharePoint, I have connector to JIRA, and some additional task for the planner. So if I go to my JIRA connector, for example, connecting, there are two scenarios created here. When we push information from Project Online to JIRA, and when we push updates from JIRA to Project Online. I can run it. I can run it immediately. So I can run manually, or I can configure how that is running. But let's go to the details. So if I go to my to integration scenario details, I defined here connection to my Project Online PWA, and we have three fields that are required to be created in Project Online. First one is sync with JIRA. It's a simply field that's saying it's a task level field and saying that do we need to sync that task to Jira? Then Jira issue type with lookup tables, where you have like improvement, task, feature, bug, epic, story. It's all your issue type that you use in Jira. And then there is a project level field called Jira project. That's a that's a field that defines to which project in Jira you need to synchronize. In this case, it's saying that okay, Jira project is called the PPMX 118 website development. That's my project here. On next step, I do the same for Jira. Right now for Jira, we require just one field, which is called like synchronize to Project Online. You don't have to use exactly the name like we have it here. For example, in this case, I have field called sync to Project Online, sync to PO, and it is displayed if I go to my issues and filters. I can see that on my screen. It's just right here. And again, in Jira, I can override and say don't sync that specific task. It's internal task. I don't want to report that it's a service task or anytime, and I don't want to anytime reporting or any progress reporting happening and updates push to Project Online just for flexibility. And on next step, what you have here is you have a field mapping. So by default, we say that task from Project Online should go to the summary. Work, it's a task planned work should go to estimated. Remaining work go to remaining. Actual work logged. It's synchronized. That log time goes to actual work. Finish goes to due date. Resource names goes to assignee. Actual start is date started. But here, if you want, you can add any, you can pick any value, any your custom fields, task level custom fields from Project Online and map to any fields that you have in Jira. So for example, if we have labels, you can synchronize labels, and maybe you can have a task level fields for labels here. You can synchronize some dates. It supports standard fields as well as the custom fields that you might have in Jira for your issues. And on the last step, if you go there, you can define the synchronization. Do you want it to do the on demand or on the schedule, and you can run every X minutes, every X hours, or daily? You have full control over the timing of your synchronization. If you want to create a new task here in Jira, you can do that, and it will be. And if you mark it sync to Project Online, it will be pushed back. If you go to Project Online and create new task and mark it for synchronization, that will be pushed. To your schedule as well. Let's take a look, for example, on the design task. It says that there is a work 72 hours. Actual work is 48 hours. If you go here to design, we see work log. We see that we reported 4 days of work and 2 days of work on this task. I just did that task yesterday and reported some time. So it's 6 days of work, 8 hours, 48 hours of work. As you can see, it's reported here, and it came through. So if we go to backward scenarios that we have that is coming from Jira to Project Online. Again, all those scenarios they created automatically, but it's very similar. It just defines the same rules. But again, you can have a different mapping for the backward flows and all the information. So you really have that flexibility to adjust. And we see an organization with multiple that creates tens of additional custom fields in Jira, and they want to push some of that information back to Project Online for it can be status, it can be additional descriptions, it can be pretty much anything that you can define here, and that will flow back. In Integration Hub, for each scenario, you can have very detailed information about the progress. For example, I can go to data transfers and I can see all my synchronization happening. That was synchronization from Project Online to JIRA issues. I can see all the jobs that we perform, and I can see if needed. I can see all the log information, what happened, which field, what was initiated, if any critical errors that they will be reflected here. You can filter it out, and you can see all those details. You can see all those details here in the system in very detailed format. Uh, on our experience, you really don't need to go to the log files until something is not coming or something is not happening. But as needed, we have it. We have all the information, fields, names, and everything we to troubleshoot if anything goes sideways. For data, you can have all your endpoints. Integration Hub is licensed by endpoints. What we mean by endpoint? Endpoint is one project in any of the system. So, for example, if you have one project in 10 projects in Project Online and 3 projects in JIRA, you're consuming 20 endpoints. That the endpoints have monthly expiration, so it's kind of like it's working. We calculate all that information all the time, but you can see how that information, where that endpoint was consumed, and how it's computed. Since then, okay, that's Project Online, that's one endpoint, that's another endpoint. 2 endpoints were consumed in the system. You can have a history of all the synchronization again, like what was updated, what was done, and transfers they cover again, like it's all the information, data transfer between the system. In general, for you can have statistics for a system, how many integration you have, how many points were consumed. Data transfers is a number of, let's say, transactions in the system and specific match. And you can see some kind of like charts for the consumptions. In settings, it's not much. It's mostly all the log information here. So if we switch back to our presentation, what we're trying really to address Integration Hub is it's an app, and it solves the connectivity issue between two systems. They have free edition, in fact, that you can simply just start, and Integration Hub is not expensive. For you can request pricing, but it's we during the summer we decrease the pricing, and it's really very cheap and very inexpensive solution right now, even for large organization. It's in production for several years. We have a number of customers using it, majority using for with Jira and with Planner. That's our two main systems that customers integrating Microsoft Project Online. But in fact, with buying subscription, we don't limit you how many connection, how many PWAs, how many instances of Jira you use. It's unlimited. All that we care is simply just endpoints. You just pay for endpoints. So in fact, you're paying for the load that you create to the system. It's consumption-based model. If needed, we support mapping that allows you to address and define very specific scenarios in your integration, so you can adjust that and you can configure and show how that works. We have full-time support organizations that if you have any questions, they will help you with configuration, with maintenance, with helping you run or troubleshoot if anything is, for example, some your credentials expired or system cannot connect. If you're existing customers, we definitely offer the multi-product discount, so talk to us. And again, like you can start free and see how that works. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, there are lots of videos where we demonstrate how it works in the details, moving the tasks. You can search on our YouTube channel. Feel free to reach to us. We do the customized demos, so we can spend an hour and show how to work. There's a free trial which you can just go ahead and install the application to your environment and start using it. it doesn't require any intervention from outside. It will be automatically, you have 24 endpoints and you can start using it right out of the box. And the configuration is pretty straightforward. Thank you and have a great day.